as similar products, prices, and reviews. Try it before you buy it has also proved to be a very useful technique of increasing online sales for some brands. Sephora allowed the customers to take a selfie and virtually apply a variety of cosmetic products on their face in order to see how those products fitted. With all this information, some people may be wondering, which is better? Well, it depends on the variety of factors. First, the comfort of the hardware. If you are wearing a hardware, do you want to wear it for hours? And the performance of the hardware is also one of the factors. You definitely want it to look as beautiful and as realistic as possible. And the last one is the sensation of the controls. If you are using the mouse and keyboard with a VR headset, it is not going to feel natural. Now, I would like to close this talk with a brief summary. VR tends to be completely immersive with no real-world stimuli affecting the experience. The goal of VR is to make the users feel as if they are in a different space. In contrast, AR acts as a digital addition to the user's world. Objects can appear on tables, information can be displayed in floating windows. These technologies show incredible potential and the experiences will be commonplace. A number of people do think both VR and AR will fade out due to past failures, but the underlying technology is much more powerful this time, thus making them much more feasible than the ones in the past. Thank you all for listening. It was a pleasure being here today.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to have you. So today I'm going to talk about changing the world with biotechnology. Biotechnology is a broad discipline which encompasses biology, processes, organisms, cells, or blah blah blah. Forget that. Biotechnology is to me something that feels distant, but also something that is close to our lives. Biotechnology is something used to be done only in the professional laboratories, but now there are people trying to bring it into the home settings. I believe that biotechnology will follow the footsteps of personal computers. Now, most people in this room, everyone in this room has in some way benefiting from biotechnology. Every one of you was most probably born in a hospital or had tests such as the heel prick test. Every one of us will also know someone whose life has been improved or even saved by genetically modified drugs. An increasing number of people around the world are eating genetically modified foods. and without suffering from any side effects. Biotechnology can also bring beauty into our world. It is able to change the color of a flower from pink to blue and back to pink again, all in the span of a day. It is a GMO. It is a beautiful GMO. Now, there are some words that you probably have never thought about. When we talk about GMOs, we are talking about something that looks like this. Isn't this an eloquent picture of the way we think of GMOs today? This picture says to me three very distinct things. First, it says that people who made this doesn't know what they're doing. They just staple two pieces of fruit together. That doesn't make any sense at all. The second thing it says is that biotechnology is unnecessary. Pears and apples are good by their own. So why do you need to make this Frankenstein? The third thing it says is that biotechnology is unnatural. It is not something pears and apples do by their own. A scientist might respond by saying that it is just a misunderstanding. We just need to be more informed about science, and people will be totally cool with it. But I don't think this is just a simple misunderstanding. I think this reflects a deep unease with complex technology that has been profited largely by big companies. Nowadays, more and more people around the world are making genetically modified organisms. They believe that biotechnology that has been well designed and engineered can make a difference in the world. It seems to be cool, clean, and beautiful. But in reality, biology looks a lot more like this. This is a metabolic network of one single cell. Everything the cell makes, everything it consumes, every single second of every single day. All of these processes are going on at the same time. There's a lot here, and it's kind of unimaginable, but this is occurrent. This is a great description of what is going on within a cell. We know this because thousands of scientists have devoted years of research in order to understand every single process from different angles. Because of this, we have a lot of knowledge about what happens in a cell. We can use existing instructions and combine them in new ways for new rules. So how do we do it? And how do we enter the gate of biotech? There is a machine that is used in biotechnology, but it unfortunately cost $1 million US. And not to mention, you have to place it in a fully equipped laboratory. This really restricts people access to it. Even people who holds PhDs will have a hard time trying to get their hands on it. But thankfully, I found a device called an open PCR. It is made out of plywood, which means it is 100 times cheaper than most products you can get from a typical research company. If you are wondering what PCR means, it stands for polymerase chain reaction. It is used to copy DNA. It is used to examine and manipulate it. This is a great way to get people into biotech. It encourages people to use this to conduct their own experiments. In the last part of my presentation, I'm going to talk about medical biotechnology. People get sick easily, and the most common way of us to get sick is when a virus gets into our body and kills our cells. It will then cause a sore throat or a fever. What happens when we go to the doctor is that they will prescribe us some medical treatment, such as aspirin. It will help us to treat pain and reduce fever. But if you use it too much, it will cause stomach bleeding. Almost all drugs has side effects, but we still have to use them because of cost conscience. My father is a pharmacist. He always tries to use medicine that has minimum side effects. I found out a medicine that is quite interesting. This medicine is called lactosol capsule. It is a product made by a German company called Lactopharm, which has over 100 years of history in manufacturing medicine. This amazing medicine can inhibit the growth of virus and treat inflammation and has no side effect at all. It is used as a drug in Germany, but it is a simple food item in Taiwan. It is about 1,100 NT dollars of a box of 36 capsules in Taiwan. In my experience, whenever when I have a runny nose or my throat feels uncomfortable, I take 1 or 2 pills of this, and then it controls of my sickness, and I rarely have a fever. So if we have the opportunity to work with nature to create instead of destroying it, I think we should do it. And this isn't a new idea. We've been doing this for thousands of years. We have been working with nature and engineered more food and more beauty. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon, and today my topic is how is cell phone changing you? Of the 7 billion people on Earth, and roughly 6 billion own a cell phone, which is pretty shocking. So how are these popular gadgets changing your brain and body? If you are looking down at your phone right now, your spine angle is equivalent to that of an 8-year child sitting on your neck, which is fairly significantly considering that people spend an average of 4.7 hours a day looking at their phone. This, combined with the length of time spent in front of a computer, has led to an prevalence of myopia and nearsighted. There are about 7% of populations had myopia in North America, and in some parts of Asia, there are about 80 to 90% of people had nearsighted. And it can be hard to put your phone down. Take the example of the game Candy Crush. As you play the game, you achieve small goals, causing your brain to be burst of dopamine, and eventually you're rewarded with new content. This novelty also gives their burst of dopamine, and together create what is known as a compulsion loop, which just happens to be the same loop responsible for the behavior associated with nicotine and cocaine. Our brains are hardwired to make us novelty-seeking, and that is why apps on our phone are designed to constantly provide us with new content and making them hard to put down. As a result, 93% of young people aged between 18 to 29 report using their smartphone as a tool to avoid boredom, as opposed to the other activities like reading a book or engaging with people around them. This has created the new terms nomophobia, the fear or anxiety of being without your phone. We also see a change in our brain patterns. Alpha rhythms are commonly associated with wakeful relaxation, like when your mind wanders off. Gamma waves are associated with conscious attentiveness. An experiment has shown that when a cell phone is transmitting during a phone call, the power of these alpha waves is significantly boosted, which means phone call transmission can literally change the way your brain functions. Your smartphone can also disrupt your sleep. The screen emits a blue light, has shown to alter the circadian rhythms, and which is the development of diabetes, cancer, and obesity. The study found out that people who read their phone at night has a harder time to falling asleep and produce less melatonin, a hormone responsible for the regulation of sleep-wake cycles. Harvard Medical School advised that last 2 to 3 hours before bed and be technology-free. So pick up a book before bed instead. Of course, a smartphone also completely changed the ability to access information. The most notably is in poor and the minority population. The study found out that the 7% of Americans are entirely depending on their smartphone as a tool to access their internet. But there are also some parts of positive change of smartphone as people use their smartphone to online banking, to look up medical information and searching for a job. So While smartphones are in no way exclusively bad in our life, there also have been some parts of positive change in the world. There's no denying they are changing us. This is my presentation. Thank you for your listening.
家珍。